Okay, this is from 73 Alec. When I start my WLA, it takes about 20 to 30 seconds for the charge light to go out, even when the battery is fully charged. Is this normal? After it's out, there are no issues and the bike runs beautifully.
20 to 30 seconds is a long time.
Yeah.
What you can do, it doesn't force it, but as soon as you start the bike, turn the lights on.
Yeah.
That should trip the third brush on the relay, and the light, your charge light should go straight out, and then just turn it back, turn the lights back off, and it should stay out straight away. So could be dirty on the armature. It might be worth stripping the brushes out and giving them a clean. It's 20 to 30 seconds is quite a long time, but if it's going out, then it's all good basically. Yeah. But if you turn the lights on, the minute it fires up, turn the lights on, then click them back off, your charge light should go straight out. It just trips the third brush, it falsely informs the relay, if that makes sense. She's overloading it so the light goes out.
So what is the light going out signifying? It's
charging.
Right.
Yeah, it's charging. 20 to 30 seconds is quite a long time for it. Nothing to worry about if it stays out and runs fine. I wouldn't fret about it too much, but just try, the minute you start it, just flick the lights on, flick them back off again, and the charge light should go straight out.
Okay. Interesting. Okay.
It's just an antiquated system, that's all it is. I mean, you can get into if it's got an original relay, not a solid state relay, you can get into setting all the points on that, but 9 times out of 10, if they're working, leave them alone, because they are fiddly little horrible things to get right.
Yeah. Dave Co 1270, also on the helical thread repair kit video. Are there certain spots you recommend using a time cert over a helicoil? I like the time cert thread repair kits better than the helicoils, but they cost 10 times as much.
Definitely 100 times better than a helicoil.
Yeah.
I mean, we used to use a machine shop in Wallington. Can't remember the guys' names now. Did some Indian cases for me, and they were all machined out holes with brass threaded inserts in them and everything. Really, really clever stuff. Yeah, nice.
Yeah, a lot more expensive. But
a lot more expensive, but definitely 10 times better. Yeah, he's quite right there.
Mog Defender 8520 is when you're working on that 1945 Harley WLA, which is the blue one, I think.
Oh, Michael Fiximers,
yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's that bike.
Yeah.
Because you need to know whose bike it is, because it says, can you tell me what kind of handlebars were on that bike, please?
No, off the top of my head.
They seem to be taller than the military ones.
Blimey, there's so many different bars they made for them. Without looking at the bike, I who knows? To be perfectly honest with you, I've done so many Harleys.
Come on, Ash.
Sorry, I remember Michael Fiximers, and that because he had a cam out, a tooth out. Oh yeah, they are taller, aren't they? I don't know. They did bikini bars, they did all sorts of different bars. You get XA bars, they're higher, but the light switches are on the other side on XA bars. It's a minefield, handlebars, there's billions of the bloody things.
Laurie Cometto says, any chance you have the wiring diagram for 5 instead of 7 on the WLA? I'm having trouble finding the civilian diagram for the WL.
Yeah, somewhere I've got one. Right, that is your generic wiring loom for any Harley Davidson basically that's got a 5-point switch.
Okay. Screenshot that.
Yeah, that's your basic wiring diagram for a 5-point, for a 5-point switch.
What book was that in?
That's a big twin service manual, but all the wiring diagrams are the same. The only thing that's different between a big twin and a 45 is the 2 poles underneath the seat that are on the down tube of the frame, the top tube of the frame on a 45.
Yeah.
As the frame goes like that on a big twin, the connections are there instead of down there. That's all it is. But the wiring's exactly the same.
Stephen Mountain in Australia, guide to assembling WL handlebars, the video you did there. What size are the Grub screws, please?
Oh, fucking hell.
Get your brain working this morning.
1032, I think.
Oh, blimey.
They're 832 or 1032. I can't remember which one. Obviously, one's bigger than the other, so it's fairly obvious. If you get an 832 tap and a 1032 tap, then you'll know straight away what size they are. Didn't expect that one, did you?
I didn't know. And 8222. He was said this is when you were figuring out the wiring issues on a 1972 Norton Commando. I have a question about 45s. I have a WLA with around 1200 miles on it. It seems to run hot. The timing is spot on. The M88 is adjusted to be rich and manifold doesn't leak after testing.
Yeah.
With a laser temperature gun, it runs around 450 to 500 Fahrenheit at the plug. This was after a 40-minute ride trying to keep up with big twins, so going around 55 to 60 miles an hour on a 30-degree day.
Yeah.
Is this hot for air cooled? I know they run hot. General ride around town runs around 400 to 450, and the advice for this standard for flatheads.
That is quite warm. What you got to remember is the timing being bang on. It's all got to make sure your tappets are adjusted right. If they're too tight, it'll run hot. And what you got to remember is the petrol nowadays. The petrol they originally designed for was actually crap, garbage. You know, like 80 octane or something stupid. It was terrible stuff. So you can knock your timing back a little bit, play around with your timing. You can do it very, very. Mark your band around the distributor.
Mm-hmm.
You're only talking a slight bit because you won't get it to drop that much more, but that is quite hot. So where your band goes around the dizzy base, just put a marker pen through it, so you can always set it back to where it was, and just try moving it a couple of degrees either way, give it a run and see what it does, because obviously it'll burn hotter with the modern petrol.
Yeah.
That's because it basically you were running them on just 80 runs, absolute crap petrol. So they weren't designed to have high performance petrol in them as such. It would, put the super duper stuff in it, you're better off putting shit petrol in it.
Really?
Yeah. Obviously it runs cleaner, but that is quite hot. Just as I say, knock the timing back a couple of degrees, or just give it a try. It's trial and error.
What's the repercussions of it running slightly hotter?
Long term it'll wear out quicker. Yeah.
Rolf Van Hamst 4874. This is a long time ago when you were doing the WLA gearbox rebuild.
Which one?
At 1347, that's a time stamp in the video, you're talking about the spring load to the shifter barrel. How tight or how much spring pressure does it need? My WLA shifts through all gears, but it hardly not goes back out of third gear. Can I loosen that screw up a little bit to make it shift smoother? Yeah,
just play around with it. Yeah, literally just turn it in and out till you're happy with how it feels.
But how tight would that spring pressure need to be?
Oh, fairly tight, because it locks the indents on the gear change barrel.
Yeah.
It just locks it into it, locks it into it. But if you're having trouble, the only other thing it can be is if the barrel indents are severely worn or got a nick on them or something, it might be hard to get out of third gear.
Yeah.
But without stripping the gear or top of the gearbox out, you can't tell that. Just back it off a couple of turns and try it. Back it off a couple of turns. You'll soon know if it starts jumping in and out of gears and flopping around.
Yeah.
It's just, again, it's a bit of trial and error really, but there's no specific setting for it. None at all. Just do it up. Could have a different spring in it. Could have the wrong size ball bearing in it. There's all sorts of
connotations.
Just trial and error on that one really.
Okay. Nick Panhead 7209, and this is when you're doing a seat post, how to assemble a seat post on a 45. Can you tell me the outside dimensions of the smaller post? A friend of mine gave me his brother's 36EL knucklehead, and I'm looking to put a pogo seed on it. But the hole in the frame looks small to me. I noticed from the top of the frame down the tube about 2 inches down, it's completely welded around, so there was some work done on the frame and I can't see a Zerk fitting anywhere. I'm just hoping I could install a pogo on it. Thank you. Any ideas?
Well, Big Twin, was it an EL?
He's got a 36 EL knucklehead.
Lucky swine. Big Twin seat posts are bigger than 45 seat posts, I'm pretty sure. Larger diameter.
Just the outside dimensions of the smaller post.
A smaller post? What, like a 45 post? Because you obviously can't. I think I've got one over there. Let me go and have a look. Right, I haven't got a seat post here, but that's a Big Twin seat post, bush. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So internal on that is, put my glasses on, that's 1.18090. So just under 1.2 inches that, yeah.
Okay.
But that is a tool I made up for banging in, or Robin made up for banging in 45 seat post bushes. And that comes out at, around about 1.55 thou.
Okay.
So that's the internal dimension of a 45 seat post.
Okay.
Lots of questions.
Pontus T3i. A quick question I have on a 750 WL. When I ride it on lower speeds and RPM, it runs fine.
Yeah.
When you drive like 70 to 80 kilometers per hour and you have a steady throttle, it feels like it loses some power, but not much, for like 1 to 2 seconds, and then it feels good, and it can do like 3 to 4 times under 10 kilometers an hour. Any tips?
Yeah, I mean, lower revs, if it's cracking it open and it's stalling, it depends. 46, it probably isn't military, so you probably haven't got the fixed jet in the bottom of the carburetor on the high speed needle. So as you're sitting on the bike, front needle's a high speed needle, the back needle on the carburetor is your idle adjustment, idle mixture adjustment.
Yeah.
So as you're riding it, just wind out or wind in or wind out your high speed needle. Just lean down, wind it out, wind it in, and that should make a difference. But if it's got the fixed jet, the fixed needle and the jet with a hole in the bottom, then it's a number 52 or number 53, the standard size, then it could be something clogged up in the base of the car. But that sounds to me like on low revs it'll run smoothly, and then when you crack it and try and give it a little bit more, if it's stumbling, it's probably weak on the carburetor, so you need to screw your high speed needle out a little bit. Interesting
you say that. There was a guy called Paul Wennerberg who did put a reply saying, does it have a fixed or adjustable main jet on the carb? If adjustable, screw half turn and try again.
Yeah.
And the guy came back and said it does have an adjustable high speed and idle jet, and he would try that.
Yeah, just riching it up, weaken it, riching it, play around with the needle on the high speed as you're riding it, because it's easy to reach. You just lean down and turn it.
So what that guy actually said was what you just said.
Yeah. The other thing to be wary of is they should click as you're turning them. Sometimes the springs go or the ball bearings fall out.
Yeah.
So if it's just vibrating and rumbling around, you're never going to get it right. So you put a spring in to make it click properly.
This is from KVLMP, and this is when you're doing the Cooper wagon.
Cool.
How much does the base plate differ from the basic Beetle base plates? At least the added drain holes and seat mounting are different. Do you know?
Seat mounting's different, the drain holes are different, the throttle, pedal, drillings are different where that mounts. Because the one that we did, the left hand side had a more modern Beetle floor pan laid into it.
Oh, okay.
Some riv nuts have to go in the back to hold something, I can't remember what it was. Yeah, in the back, it might have been an ammo box or something like that. It had some riv nuts, or you have to weld nuts on the bottom of it. I think there was 4 or 6. Can't remember what they held now. Might have been an ammo box or something like. No, they were on the doors, weren't they?
Not a gun mount. So.
Could have been a gun mount. Yeah, I can't remember now. But yeah, not nothing majorly different. Like say the drain holes with the twisting bungs. If you're doing one properly, heater channels are in the body, so it's not that. I don't think there was much difference at all.
Okay.
Because the wooden floorboards that go in, the slatted wooden floorboards, you can trim them to fit anything. So no, I don't think there was any major difference. It's just a few holes here and there.
Yeah. And last one, Doug, via an email, he said, Samwell offers a kit to convert WLA to a ratcheting food shift, but it says it only fit with 3-speed trans. Why not 4-speed? Any idea?
A ratcheting foot change?
Ratcheting foot shift. Have you come across that?
Nope. No, I'll have to look into that. Ratcheting, you'd imagine it'll mean like a sequential gearbox. You just go like first, second, third, and then back, second, first. I don't see why it wouldn't work with a fourth. Maybe it could be the angle of the shifter coming out the gearbox. It might be take it too low for it to ratchet back up again. Because you start there, first, second, third, and if you've got fourth, it'll be laid down flat nearly, I suppose. It might be something to do with that, the angle of the where it comes out, which you can't.
More for a question of Samwell rather than us. Really.
Yeah, you can't change that position because it throws out. Maybe you could. You'd have to play around with setting the, because you won't get first gear. No, I don't know without seeing one. But in theory, if you're going 1, 2, 3, why can't you go 4? But it'll be to do with the angle. You're looking at your clutch basket and the rod that comes up that your gear change rod goes to. It'll be the angle that is when you're trying to get fourth gear. It's probably taking it past its centre and it won't go back up again or something like that. Yeah. Never seen one. So
If we get to meet the guy from Samwell, we can ask him ourselves.
we can.
Great stuff, man.